Get out of the car. What? Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Earlier, you got a finger return on it right now.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
The 100% needless police brutality that you saw in that clip has already earlier this week resulted in that police officer being forced out of the force. But now we have an update. There are actual charges we were calling for in our previous coverage. That cop is now facing 2 counts of aggravated assault by a public servant. We're gonna have a little debate about whether that's sufficient, but what you should know is that James Brennand, the cop in that video, turned himself in to San Antonio police Tuesday night. He had been fired just 2 days after the shooting. Eric Cantu, the individual in the car, was shot multiple times and is still in critical condition and on life support. The San Antonio police chief put out a statement about the update to this, saying the shooting itself was unjustified both administratively and criminally. There was a criminal component to this. That's why we investigated it as a criminal offense. It was not justified. Although they do go on to say, this was a failure for one individual police officer that had nothing to do with our policies. Policies did not allow that, or training did not teach that. So this was a fail for one particular police officer. So the cops are always gonna find a way to take away a little bit of the credit that they earn. Actually doing the charges against him is a good call. You should do that, you need to do that. But to then immediately turn to covering your ass and implying that nothing this guy taught, nothing about the training, nothing about the culture of policing in America led to him doing what he did. Nothing even contributed 5% to it. That's just not realistic. That is you just covering your ass. But JR, what do you think?
We have to start looking at the way police behave in these situations and wondering to what degree is that normal for everyone else? Like this guy, we pictured, when we were in 2nd grade, you couldn't imagine your teacher not being at school. So if you saw her at the mall, you're like, oh my God, I thought you lived at this school, Miss Parker. No, bro, she's a real person and she does stuff outside of it. Police officers go home, take off the badge and uniform, and who are they then? What is it that they do? Not stuff like this. If he's not in uniform, can he go up and snatch someone's car door open with his gun and say, get out, and start shooting at him? No, hell no, he can't. It's also why we can't just take care of it ourselves. He thought the car was stolen or something like that. The license plate didn't match the car, and the kid, whatever happened before, he didn't like his response. So can I, if I think I see my car that I think was stolen, run up on somebody, snatch the door open and say, get out? I can't do that because I'm not trained, I'm not qualified, I might make a mistake, I don't know everything that I'm doing. Police do that all the time. They make that mistake, they overreach, they get violent when they don't need to, they make identity issues and they shoot the wrong person. All that happens, or they overreact, they think a comb is a weapon, stuff like that. But instead, we are not allowed to do that, and they are. And after they do, it's aggravated assault, and you just lose your job. Not in any other world.
Yeah, now they have said that in theory, if Eric Cantu were to die, as of right now, is on life support, is generally being described as being in a coma, then in theory the charges could be raised. But again, I feel like those charges, again, I'm not a lawyer, but the charges describe intent. And in this case, it's intent to cause serious bodily harm. Well, then why would the charges depend on the outcome? His intent does matter. But his intent, I don't think, was to cause serious bodily harm. His intent was to kill him. We know how cops operate. You don't fire that many times because you want to cause bodily harm. You fire that many times to kill the person that you're firing at. So we'll see. The charges could end up being raised, and maybe they're doing this because they feel like it'll be easier to actually get these charges to go all the way through. I don't know. But at least they are investigating this criminally. The idea that he would just walk losing his job after this was completely unacceptable.